200 is presented by Moon Guide. Plan your best hunt. As the autumn leaves begin to turn, and the brisk fall winds usher in the changing of the seasons, few things can compare to the excitement you will find in the woods of the whitetail. With countless magazine articles written and literally hundreds of television shows produced on the subject, there's no shortage of information available to today's hunter on how to hunt these amazing creatures.
Check this guy out. Unreal.
Millions of dollars are spent every year on the best equipment, while sportsmen travel hundreds of miles for guided or do-it-yourself hunts in hopes of crossing paths with a trophy buck.
Yeah. Look at this Kansas giant. Hunting with Chris Seymour at Seymour Bucks.
Countless hours are spent practicing, scouting, planting food plots, all in preparation and in hopes of wrapping a tag around a buck of a lifetime. Ask 100 hunters their opinion on the best way to tag a true giant, and you will probably get just as many different answers. If your goal is to kill bigger than average bucks consistently, the task gets even more difficult. Some outdoorsmen believe the breeding season is the best time to catch a monster on his feet during daylight hours, while some die-hard whitetail enthusiasts believe early and late season, when deer are on a predictable and strict feeding pattern, is the best time to kill a specific animal. So, what is the answer? How or when is the best time to kill the buck of a lifetime? At the end of the day, this game really boils down to one question. How do you predict what a big buck is going to do before he ever does it? That's the million-dollar question. So stay tuned for the answer this week on Team 200. This week, we're taking a close look at one of bow hunting's toughest challenges, predicting deer movement, in particular, daylight activity for mature whitetail bucks. What are the key factors that increase deer activity after surviving multiple hunting seasons? What would trigger a cagey old buck to throw caution to the wind and move during daylight, when his instincts tell him to stay put until the safety of darkness arrives? Is it possible to accurately predict, with any amount of consistency, what a monster buck is going to do before he does it?
Hunting big whitetails really comes down to two things: being in the right place at the right time. It sounds so simple, but it's extremely difficult to execute that. It does you no good to scout until you find the exact right place to kill a big buck, but then go in at the wrong time. Finding the right place to kill a big deer is the easier part of the two. Deciding when the best time is to go in and actually try to kill him, that's the difficult part. But for me personally, it's about waiting for the right wind for that animal to feel comfortable enough to move during daylight, waiting for a red moon, giving him an extra little push to get up and move just a little bit earlier, and then if you're lucky enough, combining a good weather pattern on top of that that's going to increase deer activity. If you can combine 2 or 3 of those things on the same night, that's as good as it gets, and that's when things get bloody. And for me, that's the perfect storm for whitetail hunting.
This might sound like a broken record, but the proof is in the pudding. 4 years in a row, I shot target deer within minutes of peak red moon.
It's awesome.
Hey.
Right? Give me a shot, Brady.
High five, brother.
Wow.
My success from the Moon Guide started in 2018. I shot a deer that we barely ever saw, and I think within an hour of peak overhead. 2019, shot 2 gross Boone and Crockett deer. The first one was an hour after peak, after a rain, and the second one was within 2 minutes of peak in November. 2020, And October 18th was Red Moon Day, and it was a morning, and I don't normally hunt mornings in October, and he came from the bedroom investigating a grunt, and the rest is history. All of the odds in your favor. So obviously you can't see weather out that far, but you can see the moon. Whether you have the dial or the app on your phone. You can get it at any app store, Apple or Android. I highly recommend downloading it because it's just another tool.
I just stuck tiny.
Sticker points. This butt heavy, mass. This butt.
Moon Guide follower Randy Baker has taken several giants following the red moon and has been consistent not only shooting big bucks, but filming his hunts. Last season, Randy submitted his hunt and it won biggest bow kill for Moon Guide's Big Buck contest.
Yeah, Ben, can you believe that just happened? Oh my gosh, he came right in. We watched him come out. The does reacted down here. There's a bunch of does that come in up here. And he was coming to water like he's done the last 4 or 5 days. I mean, like, this hasn't even hit me yet. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh, what a deer. Holy cow. I can't even believe it. Oh my gosh, he's big bodied. Oh my gosh, huge.
Here at Raw Frozen Scents, it's all about providing you with fresh, pure, undiluted deer urine that's just plain effective. Raw scents are collected fresh, then immediately frozen and shipped from the farm directly to your door in an insulated container. The natural product that smells like real deer, increasing your odds for success.
And they are going nuts because that smell is in the air.
Raw Frozen Scents were 53.2 times more effective when tested against the competition. It doesn't get any better or fresher than Raw Frozen Scents.
Ryan Cedars is an avid whitetail hunter from Texas and has been utilizing the Moon Guide for over a decade, focusing on mature bucks in multiple states every season.
My name's Ryan, and I've known Adam for quite a while now, and he got me using the Moon Guide and looking at the moon times and the red moon. This is a deer that I killed in Oklahoma. We called him Nemesis.
Ryan understands the significance of being in the right place at the right time. He uses Moon Guide data to increase his chance of catching these elusive bucks moving during daylight.
Got him. Are you kidding me?
Ryan has killed 24 bucks over 170.
This is definitely not only my biggest Oklahoma buck, but I'm gonna go ahead and say he's my biggest buck ever.
Back at a lot of these, from the time I really started using the Moon Guide a lot in 2016, it's amazing how many of these 9 bucks were killed around the red moon or around the predicted time. I had a great 2018 season with these 2 big deer. This deer I killed in southern Kansas with my muzzleloader. He's a 205-inch non-typical. This one that I killed in South Texas, we called him the headquarters buck. He scores 194, and I killed him in the early afternoon of a red moon day. You know, I think 6 of these 9 deer were killed on the red moon. Some of that information we got by backtracking it. You know, some of it I knew when I killed it because I was looking at my Moon Guide. And the results I've seen from that, it's impressive, especially when those peak activity times line up within the first 2 hours of daylight or the 2 hours leading into sunset. Might be over an inch, but what a pretty deer. God. Nice mass.
So this past year was the first annual Moon Guide Big Buck Contest, and there were 4 categories in this contest. The biggest buck killed by a youth, biggest bow kill.
Look at this! Oh my gosh!
Biggest gun kill, and as you're about to see, the biggest buck killed on video.
This was my 4th evening sit. I put 1 morning sit in there. 4th evening sit, and the red moon said field edge at 7:35. Well, he came out to a field edge at 7:44 is when or 7:43 is when I pulled the trigger. I'm glad to have Hippie on the ground and all 3 of the kids here to see him. It was a fun hunt, and what a beautiful, gnarly, massive Kansas buck.
Talk to any group or individual that has been successful, and you will quickly find out that through trial and error, they have developed a system that works for them, and they stick to it. The guys that make up Team 200 are no exception. Focusing on killer win scenarios that give a big buck the win to his advantage so he's comfortable enough to move during shooting hours has put some absolute giants in bow range for these veteran hunters.
In 2021, I killed the Texas typical state record. December the 8th of 21, it was a red moon, but with that red moon and knowing that the deer was in the area, I was in the stand that day, and I was kind of just, in awe and couldn't say much. Once I had a Boone & Crockett score the deer, I was contacted by a local rider, also several magazines. I was actually fortunate enough to win the Golden Laurel Citation, the Deer of the Year, and it kind of just took off from there.
Focusing their efforts around the Moon Guide's red moon periods is another edge this group uses to stack the deck in their favor when chasing world-class animals.
We just drilled another giant. The red moon, guys. It's not gonna get you the deer, but it's gonna tell you when you need to be there and where you need to be.
We'll talk about the red moon for a second. This deer has been totally nocturnal on us all year. We've got a lot of history with this deer this season, and today, on the red moon, I kill my target deer.
You gotta have it, you gotta know it, because not only that it's proven, but it keeps you in the seat longer.
We had a cold front coming in. Again, normally don't hunt in October, this early in October, but had a super cold front coming in and a red moon. Big 9.5-year-old Midwest buck, and for me, this is really what it's all about, and I just couldn't be happier.
Adam Hayes has played the game with some world-class whitetails. To date, Adam has taken down 13 bucks over 170.
Got 3 extra kickers.
An accomplishment few bow hunters can lay claim to. Even more remarkable is that all 4 of his biggest bow kills exceed 200 inches. Adam says there are multiple factors that have contributed to his success. But most significantly, it's been paying strict attention to lunar influences on mature whitetails. Continuing the work of his late friend Jeff Murray, inventor of the Moon Guide, Adam credits Jeff and his theories on the moon for playing a vital part in his success for nearly 3 decades.
Hunting big bucks by the moon. This will be the first season Jeff's not around to hunt, so. This last hunting trip was last year in Ohio with me. It really puts things into perspective when you think about it. You never know when the season might be your last.